ॐ स्थापकाय च धर्मस्य सर्वधर्मस्वरूपिणे अवतारवरिष्ठाय रामकृष्णाय ते नमः।
Dear friends, welcome back to the study of the second chapter, which is being re-revised, so that the subtle ideas contained in the chapter is easily absorbable, assimilable by us. That is why we are always in a mood to revise and to repeat. Now, what we have found up till now, Arjuna the high and mighty wanted to start the warfare. And he wanted to see who are the people who wants to fight with him. And with a full amount of self-confidence, he tells Sri Krishna, take my chariot in between the two fighting armies so that I can see in depth who are the people who are prepared to fight with me. It's plain and simple. Kair maya sahajodhyabhyam asmin rana samuddame. In this impending fight, who are those people who have gathered here to raise their arms against me? On the face of it, it appears to be very simple. But if we go beyond it, a little behind or below it, we find that the self-confidence of Arjuna has crossed the fine, subtle border of self-confidence and arrogance. And what is arrogance? Where you think you are the high and mighty Lord God of the universe. The whole world will move according to your dictates. That is the manifestation of human arrogance. So when he says, Kair maya sahajodhyabhyam asmin rana samuddame, who are those cheeky, those impertinent, those people with a spleen, temerity, who wants to raise arms with me? Do they not know who am I? And he was till then itching for fight. We have seen that. And we find Sri Krishna as an excellent teacher. He immediately understood where Arjuna is going wrong attitudinally. But he keeps his cool. He listens to him, takes the chariot in between the two fighting armies and say, Pashaitan, have a look. You wanted to see, have a look. And that's all that he said. And by that statement, Arjuna's itching for fight and all that, I would say, restlessness to start the warfare, everything disappeared. In return, his perspective underwent a sea change and he saw Bhishma Pitamaha, Acharya Drona, Acharya Kripa, and all blood relationships and emotional relationship on the other side. See how Sri Krishna manages the situation. He was absolutely moving tangentially, Arjuna, itching for fight. with total confidence on his own might and main. There was no place for God or the Supreme Being, the Supreme Intelligence, the Supreme Cosmic Energy, which we call as the Divine or the God. There was no place in his thinking, which is erroneous, which is wrong. Sri Krishna could have scolded him. What are you speaking, Arjuna? Try to be humble and modest. Do your duty. Let God decide who wins, who loses. He could have said that. If he would have said that, we would have been denied of this Bhagavad Gita. There would have been no scope of its further progress. So he wants to teach the human society, making Arjuna an example. And what an example! He makes Arjuna an example, the high and mighty, the best warrior, the best general, the person who has been totally educated in art of warfare, art of statecraft, everything to be a wonderful emperor of India. That is what Arjuna was. But there was an incompleteness in his education. And that's why we say, highlight in our Mundaka Upanishad classes, there are two types of knowledge. One is mundane knowledge, worldly knowledge, not so sublime. Apara vidya, not so sublime, good enough for worldly matters. There's another vidya, another type of knowledge known as paravidya, the sublime one. Unexcelled, sublime, supreme knowledge. Knowledge of the reality behind this appearance. So Arjuna here, as of now, represents a best specimen of a person who is fully qualified with apara vidya. All that the world can teach to make him an excellent emperor. But he doesn't know anything about the reality behind all this show. Sri Krishna wants to teach him, and not only him, through him, for millenniums thereafter, as long as two people walk on this earth. How do I say so? Because he has raised a situation in a lesser degree we all face. What is that situation? Arjuna wants to fight. He is prepared for fight. And Sri Krishna sees he is proceeding without the awareness of the hands of God. He has not educated to see the hand of God everywhere, the presence of God everywhere, the smile and blessings of God everywhere. He has not educated to see himself in that state. He is egocentric. So it is Sri Krishna's duty as Avatara Bhagavan Swayam to make Arjuna understand where he is inadequate, insufficient, incomplete. And he pulls the switch very smartly. Have a look, Arjuna, have a look. Thereby, he modified his attitude, his perspective changed, and he did not see enemies anymore. He saw Bhishma, Drona, Kripa, and all the near and dear ones, their collaterals, blood relationship and emotional relationship. And he immediately broke down. I can't kill them. They're worth of worshipping. They're worthy of being worshipped. How can I kill them? They're my teachers, they're my acharyas, they are my beloved grandfather. I am his darling grandson, apple of his eyes. How can I kill him? So what happens? Call of duty to establish righteousness in that time society, and identification through body-mind complex, that is blood relationship and emotional shift, and he is in a quandary. He doesn't know what he has to do, what he cannot do, what he must do. And what he must do appears to be highly immoral, highly unethical. He has to kill them. Now, the worst scenario has been chosen by Sri Krishna here. You have to kill to fulfill your call of duty to re-establish dharma, righteousness. It's a worst case scenario. And he picks up this worst case scenario because we will not have to do that. What have we to do? Oh, I am selfishly oriented. I am selfishly motivated. I am not thinking of the agony for the others. I am doing it my best. No, I should do it. That is my problem. That is your problem. How to live a moral and ethical and a righteous life without hurting anybody. The question of killing doesn't come. But in this worst case scenario, Arjuna has to fulfill the call of duty by killing. This is how the Gita starts. So, to sum it up, the Gita starts on this premise. A human being at one point of life will face this problem. What do I do? My mind, my emotion does not agree with my decision. But rationally I know I must do this. But I can't do this. It hurts me and my ego. I can't do it. Well, it's I can't do it is not paramount. What you must do, what you should do, what has to be done for the establishment of righteousness in human society has to be done, notwithstanding what price you have to pay. This is how the Gita starts. And as I told you, I'm revising it. Anyway, Arjuna looks at and decides, no, I can't. How can I kill my grandfather, who loves me so much? I'm involved with this so much. How can I kill my teacher of warfare? How can I kill my teacher of statecraft and other subjects that I have learned? And how can I kill my near and dear one? Why? I am greedy of the throne. He now covers up the sense of duty to establish righteousness with imposing, I am greedy for the throne. Greed is a vice, it is not a virtue. So I must forego my greed. And in that process, if they have to kill me, I don't mind, but I can't kill them. And he decides arbitrarily. In the meantime, as we all do in our lives, when we take a decision, whether it is right or wrong, we marshal enough of argument to defend ourselves, rightly or wrongly. That is human tendency. We find Arjuna keeps on arguing. If I do so, this will happen. If I do so, this will happen. This is not good for the society. This is not good for the humanity. This is not good for my clan and my family. Therefore, I should not do it. and he is absolutely confused. And ultimately he says, "Sir, I can't fight. I won't fight." And then he doesn't stop there. He then works out, "Sir, isn't it better for me to become a mendicant monk?" As if monkhood is based on escapism and defeatism. He thinks it that way. "Sir, isn't it better for me that I go as a mendicant monk away from this world, renounce this world?" What do you think of it, sir? It's a brilliant idea. I don't do my duties of life. I run away because the price that I have to pay for performance of duty is too exacting, too high for me. Therefore, let me run away. Under the garb of high-sounding philosophy, I want to be a mendicant monk who renounces the whole world. And to the ultimate extent, what he says, "O ahovat mahat papam kartum vavashitavayam." Oh dear me. He pats himself on his back. Thank God I stopped at the nick of the moment. We were on the verge of perpetrating an inexcusable sin to kill for the greed of the throat. Thank God I stopped on the way, thereby casting an aspersion on Sri Krishna. What were you doing? Couldn't you stop me? What type of a friend, philosopher, guide you are? Couldn't you stop me? Sri Krishna, in a masterful fashion, doesn't scold him, doesn't rebuke him, puts in a word here and there in the flow of his argumentation to create a doubt in his mind. And the doubt was so rational. Oh, you don't want to fight. You want to be a monk and run away from the battlefield when the war has been declared. I would appreciate your being under the call of a nobler way of life. I appreciate. What will the onlookers see? The onlookers will say, "Bhayat ranat uparate." You Arjuna, you are a paper tiger. When it comes to the crunch, you put your tail behind your leg, between your legs, and you run away from the warfare. That is what you are, Arjuna. Now tell me, Arjuna, are you prepared to suffer this ignominy? And he keeps quiet. Are you prepared to suffer this ignominy? That people will speak ill of you, question your character, your integrity. Will you be able to suffer even by being a monk? Who wants to suffer this ignominy, my dears? So Arjuna is getting shaky. His so-called solid conviction, "I will be a monk," that is being shaken. Ultimately, he takes the right course. He says, "Oh dear Lord, karpanna dosha upahata svabhava pritchami tam dharma sammuda cheta jatshreyashat nishchitam ruitan me shishyasteham sadhi mam tam prapannam." What does it mean? He says, "Look, sir, what I have said, I have said. What you now say has totally confounded me. And though I have my faculties under my control, but I do not know how to utilize it profitably. I have my rationality, I have my ingenuity, I have my emotionality, I have my willpower, but I'm in such a quandary, I'm in such a mess, I don't know how to utilize it. As a miser with tons of money hidden elsewhere, doesn't know how to utilize his money, not even for his self-comfort. I have all these possibilities in me, but I do not know how to go about it. Please kindly help me out. I am taking shelter under your benign, thoughtful, merciful guidance. Please help me out. Tell me what is the better of the two, to run away under the garb of being a monk or face the brute. Please tell me for certain. I will follow you whatever you say, but be certain, be equivocal. Don't tell me too many things. Tell me what to do, what not to do. I will follow you. I take shelter under your guidance. This is the preparation of the Bhagavad Gita. And Sri Krishna tells him that, Arjuna, I never ever dreamt that you will make yourself so imbecile. You high and mighty Arjuna, a specimen, a hero of that time society, blessed by all of us, and you coming down to such a level of imbecility, it doesn't behove you. Klaivam masmagamah partha. Na toi etad upapadyate. It does not behove you. Literally. Come out of this rut and behave yourself like a well-trained human being, well-educated human being. Even then he asks his pardon. Please kindly help me out. I do not know what do I do. Why is this so? Until and unless you are modest, until and unless you are humble, no words of advice will penetrate you. It will slip off like duck's back, water on the duck's back. You have to be assimilative, you have to be modest, you have to be humble, to be receptive. The sign of receptibility is a man is humble, modest. Sri Krishna is showing to the world, if you want to, the student of the Bhagavad Gita, if you want to benefit from the study of the Bhagavad Gita, prepare yourself. Be humble, be modest, be assimilative, be absorbent. Ideas will flow from me. Hold it and receive it, hold it and cogitate upon it. Sri Ramakrishna used to give a parable. He says, there's a torrential rain. Rain is falling indiscriminately on the top of a hillock and also at the foothill in a lowland. What happens? The lowland retains that water and the top of the hill can't retain the water. It slides down from the top and fills up the lowland. Be low and humble. Let thy will be done. Let me prepare myself to receive and let me prepare my container to hold your blessings. Then only you will be able to retain and to absorb, to assimilate, and after assimilation to use. Jnana Vijnana, you will use it for others. Be assimilative, be humble and modest. He makes on Arjuna humble and modest. He says, Prichvami tam dharma sammuda cheta I am totally confused what I should do, what I should not do. If I have to do, I do not know how to do it. Please kindly tell me which is the better of the two, to stick on and face the brute or to run away from it. I take shelter under your compassionate, benign guidance. Gita starts here. So he starts. The first sense he says, Arjuna, I'll explain what is your confusion. Your confusion is asochvan anvasochastam. That which is not to be repented upon, you are lamenting on it. And on the other hand, this is a stupidity of yours. You are lamenting on something which is not worth lamented upon. And on the other hand, pragya badang shabhasase, you are talking tall. You are almost advising me. But the secret of the situation is a person who knows the true nature of his own self. Gatasun agatasuncha nanusochanti pandita. People who are realized soul. Panna means Atma, means it's a soul. The Spirit, the Holy Ghost, the Sunyam, call it by any name. We Vedantins, we don't bother about name. We bother about the essence of the teaching. He says, a person who knows the reality behind this apparent world and the domain of duties and non-duties and etc. Behind this, there is a reality. One who knows that reality, life and death means nothing to them. He starts with a bombshell. Why? Death was the main factor that made Arjuna change his mind. Oh, I have to kill Bhishma, as if he did not know that. He knew that very well, but he was not paying any attention to the consequences of that. So now he is aware, and Sri Krishna says, a realized soul, a person who knows his or her true original nature, they are not bothered about who is dead, who is alive, who is not more there, who is not yet born. They are not at all bothered. That is how the first section of the second chapter starts. Goes on substantially. Sri Krishna, from 1001 aspects of various perspectives, tries to explain to Arjuna, through Arjuna to all of us, don't give so much of importance to death. Death is only a passing phase. You were not there. You came into existence when you were born. You exist. You keep on changing shape of your body, and one day you are gone. This is the natural law of nature. Why are you creating such a fuss over it? You'd rather concentrate on he who resides in this body. Don't concentrate on the destruction of the body. Concentrate on he who resides in that body. That he who resides in the body is beyond you. You neither can kill it, you can't do anything to it, you can't even reach it as of now. This is how the shlokas continue. And he establishes the concept of indestructibility of the soul, the Atman, the Brahman, the eternal Satchidananda Swarupam, that which is eternally existing, where it is existence and it is divine, ecstatic bliss. That is your true original nature. Concentrate on that. Having said so, for several shlokas, which I am not going to repeat, I am only drawing your attention to the focal points, where keeping your attention held there, you will grow in your spiritual practice and your spiritual life. He comes to the 39th shloka. Esha te abhihita sankhe buddhir yoge tu imam shrinu buddhya yukta yaya partha karma bandham prahasasi. This is a pillar amongst all the shlokas of the second chapter. He says, Arjuna, up till now, that is from Ashochan Anvasochastam, I don't know, 11th shloka probably, anyway, 11th to 39th, I've been telling you about the concept of the soul, concept of Atman, concept of the Holy Ghost, the Spirit, the concept of Brahman. Now listen, this is in the domain of a concept which is far, far beyond you to grasp it. But I am bound down to teach you and tell you the truth. I have told you that. Sankhyate anena iti sankha. A deep hair-splitting analysis of a situation. Sri Krishna has analyzed the situation in such a manner, Deha, the body, and Dehi, he who resides in the body. He has made a very, very hair-splitting distinction between the two, the spirit and the matter. He says, conceptually, I have explained to you in an infallible logical manner the concept of Dehi, he who resides in this body, and the body and the matter around. I have tell you all that. Now listen to what? How you can experience and realize this truth. Te abhita esham shankhe. Esham shankha te abhita. I have described to you in finer, subtlest detail the distinction between the body and he who resides in this body. That is A, which is beyond your understanding as of now, as you are today. With all your plus and minus points, you are unable to raise your awareness to that level to understand, I am that, I am Brahman. You are beyond. Now, buddhir yoge tu imam shrinu. Now I will teach you a technique, a procedure, a methodology, an idea to be put into practice. That attitude, buddhi, convincing attitude. What will that do to me? Buddhya yukta jaya partha karma bandham prahasasi. That attitude which you have to inculcate in yourself according to my teachings which will follow now. According to my teaching which will follow now, you will be able to perform your duties of life, however horrible, horrendous, however, I would say, dirty it may be to kill, horrible it may be, but I will now teach you such a technique, such a procedure, such a method, such an attitude with which you put into practice performing your day-to-day duties, by means of which karma bandham prahasati, you will get rid of the bondage that is created by your own activity, the bondage that you create for yourself by your own activity. Listen to me carefully. Here you are. It's a critical place in Sri Krishna's advice to Arjuna, through Arjuna to all of us. Let me take a little time of yours. It is an excellent, unique contribution of Hindu concept emanating from the Vedas, evolving slowly and slowly in the Upanishad and crystallized in the Gita and Bhagavatam, all the other subjects, but especially in the Gita. What is it? Sri Krishna is now prepared to teach us whatever it may appear to be. Your conscience tells you, your viveka buddhi, your discriminative knowledge tells you, yes, as an enlightened human being, this is my duty. And then you see, by performance of duties, lesser values of life are being compromised. And I will be committing an unforgivable vice. For the sake of the throne of India, I have to kill them. But that is not the fact. The fact is, there has been such an amount of immorality, unethical, unacceptable behavior pattern based on greed on the other side, the Kauravas, that they have to be stopped or the human society will go back to dogs. You have to pay the price for it, to re-establish the lost values of religion. So, I am doing something that is killing, and if I kill, I am committing a sin, and I am bound down by that sinful act. Where do I go from here? Sri Krishna tells you, I will teach you a buddhi. Buddhi means an attitude coming out of discretion. That is, I analyze and I say, I have no other way. I have to do this. And I do it in such a manner that the doing it and I am doing it, therefore I will suffer the results of it. How I cannot suffer the result? I need not suffer the result, but I get rid of the karma and its bandhana. This is an excellent, unique contribution of Indian spiritual sciences to the modern world, and which Swami Vivekananda, under the guidance of the Holy Mother and Sri Ramakrishna, has explained to us very thoroughly in a very modern language, in a very modern concept. the lessons on Karma Yoga. It's in a booklet form. But let us keep it up. Let us try to understand what is the rationale behind this concept of karma and Karma Yoga. The remaining period of today's talk, I will concentrate on this. And this is nothing else but the sum and substance of the third chapter known as Karma Yoga, which we will cross-refer when we come there on our course of revision. There are two words, Karma Bhoga and Karma Yoga. Two different words. The word karma is common to both. What is karma? Performance of your duties of life. And that is a dharma. What is dharma? Dharma is a basket full of ideas, holding on to which an enlightened human being prevents himself from degrading into an animal, an ordinary, unenlightened biological creature. One aspect of dharma, holding on to which you prevent yourself from degrading yourself to be called a basic biological creature, an animal. And what is the other aspect? Holding on to which you evolve from an enlightened human being to a person who has realized the truth and be one with God. This is the whole range of dharma and its activity, karma, kartabya karma, that has to be done while living in this life as a social creature. So in our lives we find that we have to do something which hurts others. People will misunderstand me. They will not understand the motivation which propels me to do so, or the attitude with which I am doing that they will understand. They will not understand. They will criticize me. They will curse me. They will call me names. But I have no go. I have to do it. That is how we decide to be an enlightened human being, bound to our sense of duty, which is a karma to be performed in our life, and goal of life is to reach that goal. Atyanti dukkha nivritti parama sukha prapti is my goal of life. So I have to learn this trade, I have to learn this lesson. Sri Krishna is here to teach you. Karma Bhoga and Karma Yoga. Now, what is karma? Let us start from elementary and let us listen and understand very, very elementarily but completely. Karma is activity, action. When performed, it is an activity. Who performs? I do. I perform. I make my body perform. The body is active. My mind is active. My life forces are active. My rationality is active. And I, egoistically, I am active. 5 of them. Say, for instance, I am holding my discourses. I am physically active. I am emotionally active. I am rationally active. I am energetically active. And I am involved emotionally and egoistically. I, Sridharananda, I am holding the Gita discourse as a sense of duty to be performed. Am I correct, dears? Have I been able to make it clear? 5 levels of involvement. Physically, emotionally, energetically, rationally, and egoistically. Now I am doing. I can't work without any motivation. I have to have a motivation. What is that motivation? To fulfill my unfulfilled desire. What is my motivation? That you all understand. This is my motivation. That I am giving my very best. Please understand. And behind the screen, behind me, what is happening? After this discourse is over, you come and tell me, "Oh Swami, it was wonderful." And Swami hits the ceiling. Why? His desire to make it understandable is fulfilled and his ego is satisfied. He hits the cloud 9. And another genuine student comes and tells me, "Swami, you tried your very best, but it went above my head. I understood nothing, Swami." What happens to that Swami? He falls down on mud with a thud. Hi, hi, hi. Alas, all my efforts have gone down the drain. My desire is not fulfilled. My ego is not satisfied. Now, be very introspective. You tell me it was good and I'm in cloud 9. And you tell me it was not so good and I am in mud. What I have done myself to myself, dear? I have bartered away. I have relinquished my peace and tranquility of mind at your door of opinion. That's what I have done. You say good and I am in cloud 9. You say bad and I am totally depressed. This is how my life is flowing. To fulfill my duties, being motivated with a desire, and when that is not fulfilled, I am depressed, and when it is fulfilled, I am happy. I am swinging like a pendulum between pleasure and pain, happiness and sadness, ecstasy and agony. That is how my life flowing, and I say I am living an intelligent life. All that I have done is bartered away my peace of mind and tranquility and serenity, sobriety at your door of your opinion, at the door of your opinion. That is bandhana. That is the bondage. Please try to understand, and this is what Swamiji's concept of karma yoga is. You will not find it as clearly as you find it in Swamiji's karma yoga, as you find in the Gita. In Gita, after studying the karma yoga, if you study, you get into the inner meaning of it. Left to itself, it is very, very dicey, very, very risky. You may have misconceptions about what is karma yoga. Mate sangostu karmani. In the Gita, Sri Krishna said, Karmani eva adhikaraste. You have the right to perform your duties of life in this flow of life. Ma phaleshu kadachana. Don't look after the results thereof. Let not the pursuance of results be the purpose and motivation of your life. And because of that, don't be missile. Don't stop working. Don't be absolutely a lazy loon. work hard. You will understand this sloka much better if you read Swamiji's Karma Yoga. Anyway, dear, we have now understood what is the concept of karma bandha. Bandha is abbreviation of bandhana, that is bondage. I am doing with a motivation behind me. The motivation is fulfillment of my desire. What is my desire? You friends understand the secret of karma yoga and karma bhoga. I am now trying to develop what is karma bhoga. As because I am motivated by fulfillment of my desire, and I have given up my very best in teaching and preaching and explaining, someone comes and says, oh, it is wonderful, I hit cloud 9 with joy of success. My ego is pampered, I have succeeded. The joy of success. And some genuine student comes and tells me, I tried my very best, Swami, it went above my head, I could not understand. And I fall with a thud on mud in depression and dissolution. What I have done to myself? Your opinion makes me climb to cloud 9. Your opinion puts me in mud. What type of freedom do I have? I am giving up my very best, and having done so, I have bartered my serenity, my tranquility, my sobriety, my peace of mind at your door of opinion. This is karma bhoga. You are subject to karma bandhana. Now, before I close for today, in a quick, rapid manner, let me explain to you what is karma yoga. And listen to me carefully. It's very funny. And when you understand it, you will jump with joy. I can assure you that. Now, while performing your duty, you're physically involved, you're emotionally involved, you're energetically involved, you're rationally involved, and you're egoistically involved, and your motivation is to fulfill your unfulfilled desire. There you are. That is what karma bhoga is. What is karma yoga? Now, you are in the shrine. I tell you, before you start your discussion here, listen to discourse. Come in front of the deity, light up an incense stick and show it to God. While you are showing to God, please tell him emotionally, Sir, you are the symbol of the Absolute. I know that. Sir, I am offering my devotion, my emotional involvement with you by this physical activity. And as light is effulgence, by your blessing, I will be effulgent, and all the darkness from my views will disappear. I'll know myself, and I bow down to thee. Sir, I want nothing but your compassion. That much desire you keep to yourself. Now, compared to karma bhoga, you are physically involved, you are emotionally involved, you are energetically involved, you are rationally involved, you are egoistically involved, but your involvement now is rotating around the awareness of presence of God. And you are giving of your very best emotionally, energetically, rationally, physically, egoistically, from all points of view, you are giving best, and you are offering it to God. And to start with, you may say, please bless me, please help me, please give me that vision. Ask of Him. That is not bandhana, because what He gives to you is bhakti and mukti and moksha. So you have converted karma bhoga into karma yoga by bringing in the awareness of presence of God in your life. So what karma yoga teaches you? These four walls known as the shrine hall. And here you don't talk anything else. You talk about God. But because of the momentum of your thinking, sitting here, you talk of the whole world. Sitting in front of God, you don't think of God. Why? You are a victim of your past habits. That's what you are. You are a victim of your past habits. So what this karma yoga teaches you is, remove the walls. Let the whole world be your field of activity. And any bit of activity where you say, I am active, karta hamasmi, I am the doer. And the whole universe is covered by that sense of, I am doing, I am the doer. Bring in the awareness of presence of God there. You live your life in the world, fulfilling the call of your duty, call of your social duty, domestic duty, national duty, duty of being a human, or whatever sense of duty you have, duty to reach one with God, to be one with God. Do it for heaven's sake, but do it with the awareness of presence of God. Let your whole life rotate around the awareness of presence of God. When we were children, there was a game which we played. In those days, the verandas were supported by pillars and posts. The pillars were generally circular. We used to hold the pillar by our hand, and holding the pillar, we used to run in circles around the pillar. We never fell. Our idea was on the hand or slipping around the pillar in a semicircular manner which grips onto the pillar, and I keep on rotating. Karma yoga is like that game. The pillar is awareness of presence of God in my life. And my activities are worship to Him. Puja tar sangram apar, chira parajoy tahana doraktoma, churna ho sharta sadman, hriday shashan, nachuk tahate shama. This is a poem from Swamiji. It's just the essence of karma yoga. And there is this English translation of it. Let me see if I can remember for you. Let the mother dance. I'm forgetting anyway, I'll remember that later on. Let the mother dance in your heart. Perform your duties of life as an offering to God. Have no personal motivation, personal likes and dislikes. Yours is to perform your duty, to wipe away your stained mirror, and the mirror will blossom forth with its full effulgence. So let all your desires melt into nothingness. Let only the Holy Mother remains. and let her dance in your heart. This is the end result of karma yoga. And Sri Krishna will enunciate in 2 or 3 shlokas, following shlokas, how to do it in your day-to-day life, and you be free from Parma Bhoga. You master the art of karma yoga and be a karma yogi. Well, dear, we have finished that, and then he will sort of eulogize it, how good it is, and then he will teach you how to perform this in your life. And we will not spare ourselves to study that. Thank you, dears. Thank you ever so much for your kind listening and your patience. God bless us all.
Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.